The uncanny valley refers to the eerie, unsettling feeling one feels when faced with a figure that looks almost human, but is slightly off. A popular topic in the fields of robotics, 3D animation, and more. The topic of the uncanny valley has been bleeding into mainstream media and pop culture, mostly due to how efficient it is in eliciting feelings of eeriness, with the uncanny valley becoming a recurring trope in recent horror media, especially internet horror. The existence of the uncanny valley was first brought to light by robotics professor Masahiro Mori in an essay of his written in 1970. Mori claimed that as long as an object has remotely human-like features, we tend to form an affinity to it. This is true up until a certain point, after which the more human a subject looks, the creepier it becomes. This is the uncanny valley. Beyond this, when a subject looks inseparable from humans, the feelings of creepiness disappear, replaced by empathy. Mori also claims that the uncanny valley is amplified by movement, whereas a human-like figure with still and mechanical movements feels much creepier than one that is still. In this video, we'll be covering the various theories that attempt to explain why the uncanny valley exists. Evil twins and doppelgangers have been a huge part of horror media for as long as it had existed. There seems to be an ever-present fear of an evil lookalike taking your place and stealing your life, buried in our collective consciousness. To the degree that this has been the premise of many nightmares, mirrors elicit a slight fear after dark, as if your reflection in them might move, independent of yourself. This fear might factor into our aversion towards the uncanny valley, as robots that look more human might play on this deep-seated fear of lookalikes, which at its core originates from the fear of being replaced, whether in our own lives or more realistically in our jobs, as AI and robots become more advanced and might in the future replace a lot of human jobs. The existence of the uncanny valley implies that at some point, there was an evolutionary reason to be afraid of something that looked human but wasn't. Reads a tweet from 2020. This went on to popularize the theory that a now extinct predator must have existed far back during the dawn of humanity. A predator that looks similar to humans, but with minor differences, making it advantageous to spot this predator before it's too late. Thus the existence of the uncanny valley. The creature might have been a mimic, a creature that does not look human, but might have been able to transform into a human-like creature to lure in human prey, or use a body part that looks just like one, much like the anglerfish. The creature might have also naturally been human-like in appearance, a bipedal hairless creature, just unhuman enough to trigger an eerie feeling, and dangerous enough so that the fear of it might have been imprinted into our DNA. While the previous theory tackles the possibility of the existence of a human-like predator in the past that threatened our existence, this one deals with the possible future emergence of a race, creature, or being that could threaten our existence. Fueled by the countless movies and mainstream media that tackle the possibility of rogue robots or AI overtaking humanity. This theory claims that our unnatural fear of the uncanny valley might originate in how fast AI and robotics are advancing, looking and acting more human-like as time passes. This in turn might cause us to fear our position as a dominant species, being threatened by the advent of this new breed of silicone-based organisms. Humans are genetically predisposed to find signs of disease and illnesses off-putting. This serves to warn us of possible infections, so we can avoid it while also serving to prevent us choosing a mate with genetic defects, so that the genes are not passed on to the next generation. It is believed that with the uncanny valley, the almost human-like shape and movements that are slightly off might be interpreted as signs of disease or genetic defects. Thus the uncanny feeling felt to avoid these things. Corpses usually trigger this aversion to disease, since they are usually hotbeds of disease and infection. Another theory is that things in the uncanny valley feel corpse-like a lot of the time, thus triggering the same aversion and fear. Humans have always felt a sense of importance and uniqueness. viewing ourselves as superior to the rest of creatures on Earth. Recent strides in AI and robots have proven that AI are able to do a lot of the things we can do, sometimes even better. This in turn might threaten the notion of humans being unique or chosen. As robots and AI rapidly approach humans in appearance and skill, this might trigger the thought process that we are not as unique as we think we are. And maybe we are not as different than the metal machines we look down on, which in turn challenges the notion of the existence of a soul, religion, and the existence of an afterlife, triggering existential dread.